Is OB really he who remains? This second season of Loki has introduced new and enigmatic characters that expand the universe of the God of Mischief. But as we already know, in this fantastic series, nothing is what it seems at first glance. From dimensional and time travel, to the supposed guardians of time gods that turned out to be simple robots. What would you think if I suggested to you that OB might actually be someone else entirely? What if OB was actually a mask for He Who Remains? In the first episode of this second season, if anything, it became clear that this eccentric mechanic could be hiding a lot more than we imagined. Want to know more? Then stay tuned to this video. And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the Oasis Geek. To understand how He Who Remains, or Kang the Protector, would be disguised as OB, we must start at the beginning. OB is introduced in the first episode of the second season as a highly trained engineer who is in charge of repairing and maintaining all the advanced technology of the TVA. He lives isolated in the basement, surrounded by gadgets and gizmos. But what if this character hides a much more complex past? How is it that the person in charge of repairs in a workshop is the same person in charge of the machine that protects multiple dimensions? First, let's talk about OB's intelligence. OB has an amazing technological knowledge, to the point of having personally created most of the TVA devices. He mentions in the series that he has no time, because he spends his days repairing things and the repairs never end. It is as if OB is the most important mechanic of this organization. This is consistent with Kang the Protector, who has complete mastery of time travel, and may be the creator of much of TVA's technology. If OB is not He Who Remains, he is certainly one of the key pieces that this Kang used to create this place. We don't know for sure how many years Kang the Protector has been in his war, but we do know that OB has worked in his workshop for over 400 years. Possibly he was there before the arrival of the false guardians of time, and being the person in charge of the technology, it is evident that OB is the creator of these robots. Let us pause for a moment to reflect on what this implies. If OB is smart enough to repair all the technology, he is the ideal person to maintain the falsehoods in the TVA. Not only could he have been the creator of the god robots, but also of the hologram that Loki destroys on the wall, which reveals the true identity of the TVA leader. I believe OB worked closely with He Who Remains to construct this illusion. And the fact that OB keeps it a secret that he created the robot entities, or that he knew more than others thought, is disturbing. It's as if He Who Remains has hired a genius in technology, who at the same time is not good at dealing with people. Of course, if this theory is true, the reason OB acts that way is because he is actually another identity of Kang the Protector. But why would Kang the Protector, with all his power, hide under the guise of a simple engineer? As I've mentioned in other videos, Loki's story is not linear. Although we saw the death of He Who Remains, this does not mean that we will see his end. It is possible that we will be told his story in depth, from the Time War to the creation of the TVA. It is possible that in Loki's series, we will be shown how the creation of the TVA took place in the past, and even how dimensional travel was discovered. Events that already happened by the time of He Who Remains' death, but which we have not yet witnessed in the plot. But what if OB really is a younger version of He Who Remains? If we assume the idea that everything that has happened is a result of He Who Remains' plan, it is likely that many events or situations that will happen in the future are a consequence of this plan. He Who Remains was in his own dimension, a place distant from the TVA. This leads me to think that Kang the Protector could be in both places simultaneously, but representing two versions from different eras. OB could be a version of Kang the Protector who founded the TVA and who paved the way for Loki's arrival. I think He Who Remains chose Loki to be his successor for some reason. It is possible that if OB is not Kang Who Remains, he could be his most loyal ally. By adopting OB's identity, Kang could act from the shadows, manipulating events and people to achieve his goals without revealing who he really is. Perhaps the most significant indication that OB is not who he claims to be is that he managed to prevent the destruction of the machine that controlled the flow of realities. Although the series presented this character as an eccentric scientist, the fact that he possesses this knowledge and was able to stop the collapse of realities makes me think that he could be much more than a simple mechanic. OB could be he who remains, manipulating everything that happens from the past to the future. It would take a deep understanding of the time stream machine and how it works to know how to fix it in a crisis. This is not a technology that just any mechanic would handle. However, OB not only recognized the problem instantly, but had anticipated a specific solution beforehand. The quantum suit he gave Mobius was uniquely designed to interface with the time stream machine. Moreover, OB was fully aware of the temporal risks that a system collapse would entail. He even knew how to save Loki from his time slipping. Either OB is incredibly smart, or he is someone with insider information that he has not shared with others. OB is intimately tied to the inner workings of the time stream machine, understands its vulnerabilities and how to remedy them. He possesses knowledge on par with that of a Kang, or the inventor of this technology. In the comics, OB is portrayed as a clone of another character named Mr. Paradox. In these comics, OB plays the role of one of the judges for the TVA, responsible for sentencing the apprehended variants. There is a possibility that OB is shown as one of the antagonists of the series, or perhaps an ally of Miss Minutes. In the series, it is mentioned that he spent more than 400 years in the workshop. The only entity that accompanied him throughout that time is the omnipresent artificial intelligence in the TVA, Miss Minutes, a character about whom we theorize that she could unveil herself as an undercover antagonist. If indeed OB spent 400 years assisting He Who Remains and interacting with Miss Minutes, Kang's influence is evident even if it is not him directly. It is plausible that this character's actions have already been pre-established. But tell me, what are your thoughts on this theory? Will OB be a villain or an alternate version of Kang? And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You are on The Oasis Geek.